Okay, so when we talk about productivity today, we often confuse it with activity. We count logins, we count calls, check ins, every single thing that we can. But true productivity isn't about doing more, it is about doing what matters the most. And that's exactly where intelligence comes in. Understanding how time, focus, and energy are distributed across organizations. That's why we are building that's exactly what we are building at TimeChamp. We are building the world's first workforce intelligence platform that is designed to give you visibility that actually means something. We don't want you to track just who is online, but we want to give you the insight on what work is actually happening behind the scene. Okay, so if you guys have joined that, I'm telling you, so before we dive in, I want to help you understand how you fit into this conversation. If you have joined, is it going to help you or not? Because I understand it's 3 p.m. in the afternoon on a Thursday, which is the peak working hour for most of us. But yet we have taken out time to sit here and discuss. I imagine how you understand the importance of this discussion and the topic. And I'm sure it is going to be helpful for you, because if you are a CEO, you are probably asking, are we really efficient or are we just busy? If you are in HR, you might be thinking, how do I see burnout before it's too late for me? And if you are in operations, you are probably tired of being the last one to know when the performance dips. If this is your pain point, the session is for all of you. Because every function, every role today is being defined by how well we understand people and performance together. And this is exactly what we are going to talk about it. Okay. And why we are talking about it. Why is it so important for us to sit together and have this conversation right now? This is almost the end of 2025. We are in the November month, and we saw the rapid change in the work mode and every single thing around us. Things were easy, things were still manageable till the year 2024. But this year, we have seen everything has shifted at a tremendous rate. Let's rewind a bit. Before 2014, work went digital. Think people were moving to the digital platforms and everything was still manageable. Then in 2019 and 2020, pandemic came and we all had to work remotely. There were so many organizations, even the traditional work organizations that wanted their workforce to work from office, they shifted to be remote. And now in 2025, our work is everywhere. Nobody in the world, no organization in the world can say that we are just working from one place and we are going to be fine with it. Because we have resources, we have teams, we have clients, and a lot of things that are scattered throughout the world. If you see the pattern, there has been 180-degree shift in the work we use, in the way we used to work together and the way we work now. And yet, the way we measure the work hasn't evolved at all. The same tools, the same technologies, the same methodologies we used to use earlier, we are still using it. And that is the exact reason why we see so much of gap in everything that we are doing. Okay? We are still measuring hours. I understand when we first moved online, when we first moved online, the first thing we wanted to track was how are people actually spending their time and energy and everything in the organization. That's why we started measuring their online rate, their hours, attendance, and all these things. But somehow after 2025, and I'm telling you guys, from 2025 and beyond, the entire work culture has shifted, and there is going to be even more shifts in the way we work. But the truth is, we still measure hours, attendance, number of meetings, while the nature of work has moved far beyond that. Leaders are asking, are my teams productive, or are they just performing for the system? Are my employees engaged or just quietly burning out? Because these are the very important questions to ask when you see that a person who could handle one task in a day are being able to handle 5 to 10 tasks in a day because of AI and a lot of tools. So in this situation, it is very important for us to understand if they are actually being productive or they are just performing for the system. Are the employee actually engaged, or they are just wasting a lot of time doing manual works and they are getting burnt out? It's the exact time when we moved beyond counting time and we start understanding effort, engagement, and energy our resources are putting in the work. Let's see the reality of today's world. Here's the truth about modern leadership, guys. If you see a typical organization, definitely everyone, if there is a CEO, the person is responsible to understand what is going throughout the departments. Usually, a CEO has 5 dashboards and HR has 3, with the hope that maybe they will be able to understand what is going on behind the scenes. And operation teams have no. They are still managing timesheets. They are still using spreadsheets and different kinds of tools so that they can get some clarity, some visibility on what exactly is happening. But after using a lot of tools, spreadsheets, so many manual hours, somehow the biggest problem we see that they cannot even answer a simple question, that is, who is at the risk of quitting next quarter? Be very honest, guys, and ask yourself, as an operation manager, as an HR, as a CEO, CXO, do you know who is at the risk of quitting the next quarter? No, we don't, right? Because we simply don't know, because we don't have the enough data, we don't have the enough insights. We have built so many tools that we can't see through the noise anymore. We have all the data, people are logging in, people are logging out, what is the things that they are doing, but somehow we don't know the answer of the most important question, that is how we can manage the workforce, who is at the risk of quitting next quarter, who is burnt out, and these things. We are drowning in dashboards. The truth, let me say it very, very clearly. The truth of 2025 is businesses are drowning in dashboards, but they are starving for insights. Okay. This is the truth. Businesses are literally drowning in dashboards, but they are starving for insights, because the truth is activity is not equal to productivity. We used to think that activity might be equivalent to productivity, but it is not. Visibility is not equal to understanding, and dashboards is not equal to decisions. Dashboard are just going to show you the data, but so what? It's never clear by using the dashboards. That is the exact invisible gap that is lying in all the organization, and that is the gap between data and direction that we need to fill now. We need to talk about these gaps if we want to truly become productive as organizations. We are going to talk about 2 real characters, guys. And these are the main use cases, tried and tested things that we are going to show you. Let's suppose there is a person who is called Arjun. Okay, because we are showing you the anonymous situations, anonymous characters, on the basis of the things, the testimonials, the case studies that we have from our clients. So let's say there is an HR manager who is tracking 200 plus employees. 200 plus employees is not a huge number for any HR manager to track. He's using multiple applications. So his productivity application shows 100% of outputs. It's showing that the output is coming, but somehow it is missing the context. From 200 employees, this is the consolidated output that we are getting, but what is exactly happening behind the scene, that is not clear. Ultimately, what happens is the collaboration drops by 25%, reports delay by weeks, and burnout quietly rises, because we all know that if there is an organization and it is giving us 100% of output, then most in 90% of the cases, those outputs are not evenly distributed. Somehow we know that, but we do not have the data, we don't have the insight to see why the exact collaboration is dropping, why the reports are being delayed, and why the burnout is rising. Because the work and the workload is being unevenly distributed. He spends hours analyzing spreadsheets, but still feels like he's guessing. You know what? There are so many HR managers and operation managers who are actually spending so much of their time in just analyzing the spreadsheets, timesheets, and those things, but somehow they are still not having the clear picture of what's happening behind the scene. Now let's see the another scenario, that is a CEO. Okay, the person, the Priya, she is the CEO who is handling operations. She's saying that the engagement is up, logins are up to 2.5x, and task updates are up to 40%. You know what? Right now, it is more easier than ever that people can easily show 2 times login, because there are so many people working remotely. They can just update you by they can give you updated number of task updates, but is the work really happening behind the scene? That is the main question. When people used to completely work from office, things were more trackable, things were more manageable. But right now in 2025, when we see people are working remotely, then they are working hybrid, and there are different people working from different time zones, it is more easier than ever that people can easily show more hours of work. But is it actually converting into productivity or not? That is the real question. And this is exactly what happened to Priya. Her project output ultimately fails by 15%, despite having a login up to 2.5x. Her dashboard is clearly screaming activity, but somehow the balance sheet that she has, it whispers inefficiency. If you see, both of these cases, they have data, but none of them have clarity. And that's exactly where most of the companies are stuck today. Okay, that's exact the place where most of these companies are stuck today. And this is not just anecdotal. The data, the real data that we saw in the market, it backs it up, what I'm talking about. This is the exact reason why we felt like it is very important for us to come together right now and have this discussion, because this is the real burning problem in the market. If you see the data, Gartner found out that 40% of digital workers struggle to find the information they need to do their jobs. 47% digital workers. McKinsey even found out that in software teams, the link between input and output is increasingly unclear. And I'm telling you, since we have started seeing the use of AI across different teams, specifically in the tech teams, this gap is going to be even wider in the upcoming years. Because we have tools, we have data, all of us have a lot of dashboards. There are so many things available in the market, but somehow we are missing the real story. We all are missing the real story. What is exactly happening? We have all the raw data, but what does that data mean? What is the action that I should be taking? What is coming up in my, on my way? What is something that I should be prepared of? This is something that is exactly lacking in every single tool or every single technologies people are using right now. Okay, now let's take a quick pulse today. Right now, let's understand your problem better, and let's understand where we all are coming from. So let's run the poll, guys. What is the biggest challenge? What is the biggest challenge with your current workforce tools? Let's be honest and please vote for the actual challenge you guys are facing. Number one, you can track real productivity. Option two can be there is no visibility into burnout or engagement. Number three can be you cannot predict risk of attrition. Number four, I understand data is everywhere, but unfortunately, there is no insights. And number five can be all of them, which is absolutely fine, guys. This is absolutely fine. So let's see how I want to understand where we all are falling right now. Okay, just vote for it. Let me know what you think. What is the biggest challenge that you guys are facing? Okay, I'll wait for you guys to vote and then we will end. You can choose one option from all these. So what is the biggest challenge that you are facing in your current workforce tools? Just let us know, guys, so that we can talk about the solution exactly. Okay. Yeah. So what is the biggest challenge with your current workforce tool? Either you cannot track real productivity, there's no visibility into burnout or engagement, you can't predict risk of attrition, data is everywhere, but there is no insights, or all of these are the challenges that you are facing. I think we can close the poll and see the results. Cool. Cool. Okay, okay. Oh, amazing. So I see that 57% of you, 57% of you, which is a huge number, you have chosen all of the above, and that is exactly what I had figured out. Even before giving you the poll, we had figured out that most of you guys are having the exact problem, that is a combination of all the problems that we have listed here. And 24% of you have mentioned that you cannot predict the risk of iteration, which is a very valid question, because the truth is iteration is something that is going to cost a lot of time, effort, and a lot of money when it happens in any organization. Then you guys have chosen can track real productivity and no visibility into burnout or engagement. Yes, and that is the exact pain point that we are talking about and targeting today. So now let's see how the modern intelligence solves all of these problems. Okay, we will see the evaluation. Let's step back for a second and see how we got here. Why are we, when we are when we have taken this as a topic, that is workforce intelligence, then why are we exactly talking about, and how did we get till here? This is the main question that I'm going to answer. So if you see, the work started when we started, or when the market, this the industry where we are in, that started with time tracking, just knowing who showed up to the work, because at that time that was enough. Who is coming, who is showing up to the work, or who is not showing up, tracking that was somehow enough, and that was manageable for employers. Then came productivity apps that started tracking tasks, and that started tracking screens, and even we have done that. Okay, and then came the collaboration tools that were helping people connect. Okay, but now the work has become distributed, it has become dynamic, and things are data heavy, right? None of these older systems can keep up with the changing demand of the workforce, the way we are working, and the culture. The next evolution, that's why I'm saying, beyond time tracking, beyond productivity app, and beyond collaboration tools, the next evolution is going to be workforce intelligence. That means understanding why work happens the way it does, what is blocking the work in the way it should happen, and how it can improve without burning people out. Because when we feel like something is not happening, we start adding too much of surveillance, we start tracking a lot and putting a lot of constraints in the way people work. And trust me, nobody likes to be micromanaged. So how you can increase the productivity, how you can increase collaboration and predict things without adding any step of micromanagement in your team is the real question. And the solution and the answer to that question is going to be workforce intelligence. And now I'm going to tell you why I'm saying this. Why I'm saying this, why I feel like the next decade belongs to workforce intelligence. Let's see that. If the 2010s belong to customer intelligence, in 2020s and beyond, it is going to belong to workforce intelligence, because every organization has figured out how to understand its customers. We have worked really hard to come this long, and we have somehow understood that how to understand our customers. Now the winners will be those who understand their people with the same depth, because somehow we spend so much of our time and energy to understand our customers, and we left our people behind. The winners in 2025 and beyond are going to be the organizations that know how, and they understand their people with the same depth. They understand their ICP, their market, and their customers. The future belongs to the leaders who can predict and not just measure, because right now, with all the tools available in the market, with AI, anybody can just sit and measure things. But there are going to be very few people who can see pattern in performance, not just in reports and in numbers, and they can actually predict what is going to happen. That is exactly why we feel workforce intelligence isn't just a tool, it is going to be a leadership superpower. If you are into leadership, then this is going to be your superpower. Okay, and why I'm saying this, because with the changing environment, with the changing way of working and the changing culture in 2025 and beyond, traditional tools are somehow not going to be enough for you because they were never designed for how we work today. If you see in the market, if you see all the tools, technologies that are currently there, you see they can show you who is online, but they are not going to show you who is overwhelmed. Right? They are going to show you who is online, but they won't show you who is overwhelmed. They track deadlines, but they do not track team dynamics. They show you activity, but not the alignment. Right? There is a surface level of understanding that you can see in the market right now, but what is actually happening behind the scene, that is absolutely blurry for the leadership. And behind the scene, the team is burning out, there is conflict in the team, there is somebody who is handling 50% of the work, and there is somebody who is not even handling 5% of the work. All these chaos is happening, but somehow the leadership, the managers, they are busy tracking who is online, deadlines, and just the activities. And that is exactly happening, and because the traditional tools were built for visibility. The simple reason is that the traditional tools that we have in the market, they were always built for visibility and they were never built for understanding. So what leaders need now isn't more dashboards, they need meaningful visibility. The simple thing that leaders need right now is meaningful visibility, and that is the exact shift we are going to take from just analytics to intelligence, just from monitoring to intelligence, just from tracking to actual intelligence that gives you the meaningful visibility. Okay, so now what true workforce intelligence means, if there is some tool that is claiming that they provide workforce intelligence, then what are the things that they should be doing? What does true workforce intelligence actually look like? So a true workforce intelligence isn't just about tracking every click that is happening. It is actually about connecting the dots between effort and outcome, engagement and output, collaboration and burnt out. It needs to, if there is a platform, there is a tool that says that we are in workforce intelligence platform, then it must give you clarity on where to step in and when to trust your people. The need of the hour is to empower your employees and not to micromanage, because as human beings, nobody in the world likes to be micromanaged. So the ultimate goal of creating a workforce intelligence platform needs to be empowerment and not micromanagement. And ultimately, it must simplify decision making and not add the next noise. And it, like a lot of tools, it should not just be dumping a lot of data on your way. And that is the exact reason, that is exactly what we have actually built at TimeChamp. That is exactly something that we have built at TimeChamp. But now I'm going to ask you another question, guys. Let's run a poll again. Now, do you think there is already a platform? Now, see, guys, let's be very transparent, because this is the discussion, right? We are seeing what is the requirement we have, and we are seeing the market and what are the opportunities or the options we see. Do you know, can we just run a poll? Do you know if there is already a platform that brings all this workforce intelligence capability together in one place? Do you guys know? You can just tell me. Okay, we don't see it, right? We don't have it. So because if you see around it, somehow we have so many options. When we want to track, we want to monitor, we just want to get the dashboards and analytics, but somehow we do not see any workforce intelligence that is bringing all these capabilities together in one place. Okay, let me see why I cannot move my slide. Okay, so ultimately, that's exactly what we have built at TimeChamp. So TimeChamp, we have built it as your workforce intelligence partner. Let's talk about it. So when we started building a workforce intelligence, when we started revamping TimeChamp as your workforce intelligence partner, we always wanted not to create another productivity tracker. We want to make it very clear that when we have revamped TimeChamp with all the intelligence that we are bringing to the table, we do not want to be another productivity tracker software. We are simply your workforce intelligence partner. We are unifying insights from across your organization, attendance, communication, collaboration, performance, and we want to transform them all into one clear view. One clear view. Okay, we don't want to show you who is busy, but we want to show you exactly what is happening behind the picture, that is who is actually affected. We don't want to show you where the time is spent, but we want to show you how a value is created, because this is exactly what modern systems need now, modern organizations need now and beyond. Okay, all right. So now the question is so, one second, I think somehow it is getting stuck. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a quick story, guys. I'm going to give you a quick case studies and it is going to be an anonymous case study. So one of our clients, we had one of our clients who was a CEO. She came to us struggling with iteration rate of over 20%. If you see the iteration rate of 20%, it is a huge thing, right? It is a huge problem for a lot of organizations. And she was having the problems like the iteration was over 20%, the reporting delays were of weeks, and there was no visibility. There was no visibility into engagement, the real engagement that is actually happening across the countries, across the departments. But after implementing TimeChamp, the reporting became 80% faster. Do you see the numbers? When we talk about numbers right now here, it means that the numbers have been tried, tested, and that is something significant change we have been able to bring, and that's why we are talking about it. So after implementing TimeChamp, they saw that the reporting became 80% faster. The iteration rate dropped below 8%, and decisions that took weeks were made 3 times faster. And literally the decisions that took weeks, they were made 3 times faster. And she told us something that actually stuck with us. That she said, for the first time ever, I can see what's actually happening behind the numbers. I can see actually what is happening behind the numbers. And that's the moment when tracking turns into transformation for any business. Okay. That is exactly where the tracking turns into transformation for any business that is using it. So now the heart of all of it is simple. That is our workforce intelligence engine that we are using at TimeChamp. This is something that helps you predict burnout. It is going to help you boost productivity and improve engagement, and also reduce tool chaos all at one place. When we talk about one new feature, when we talk about managing this team, we have seen on an average there are so many, there are multiple tools that are being scattered throughout the organizations between different departments. They are trying, whenever they feel like they need one new data, they jump into another tool, and somehow every single report and every single data is somehow scattered everywhere. But this is exactly the pain point that we wanted to solve with our workforce intelligence engine. That is, it is going to help you predict burnout, boost productivity, improve engagement, and reduce tool chaos all at one single place. When everything connects, people, data, and outcome, decisions stop being reactive and they start being proactive. So if you had a workforce intelligence today, what would you focus on first? Okay, so my question is, if you had workforce intelligence today, what would you focus on first? Guys, let me know hypothetically if we had it today, okay? By now, I'm sure that we all understand what is workforce intelligence is. So if you had workforce intelligence today, what would be your first focus? Number one, predicting burnout early. Second, boosting productivity and focus. Third, improving team engagement, fourth, reducing tool chaos, or fifth, all of the above. Feel free to choose all of the above if this is something that you are looking for. But let me know, what would you focus on first if we had to say that you have an workforce intelligence platform with you today and you can start working with it from today. What do you think, guys, would be the next first thing that you would like to focus on? Yeah, let me know. Okay, I think we can conclude the poll now. Okay, all of them, like we got last time. So it means that everything that we have listed here, somehow we want to tackle all these problems, right? If with a workforce intelligence platform, we want to predict burnout early, we want to boost our productivity and focus, we want to improve team engagement, and at the same time, we also want to reduce tool chaos. And that is a very valid answer, that we all are having similar kinds of problems, right? So the question that I asked, that alone reveals that what your next growth lever may be in your organization, and what is something that you need to focus on. Because when businesses can see clearly, they can simply scale confidently. Okay, when businesses can see anything very clearly, when they have the clear data, when they have the clear insight, they know what to do next. And for growing and scaling businesses, that is one of the biggest barriers we see. Now imagine applying this intelligence to a growing business, and especially to SMEs. Okay, now let's see how it implies. Let's shift to SMEs, which are the small and medium enterprises. SMEs are actually the backbone of every economy. Why I'm saying this and why I'm particularly talking about it? Because 90% of businesses, millions of jobs, and immense innovation is coming through SMEs. That is the backbone of every single economy. But somehow, unfortunately, they are facing unique struggles. They have limited HR systems. There is fast growth, but somehow tight resources. They have rising burnout. Whenever they start scaling, they cannot actually see which employee or which resource is stretching thin, and that's why they have rising burnout. And ultimately, they have the difficulty in scaling the culture, right? They For SMEs, losing people isn't about inefficiency, it is about losing momentum. And that's exactly why we feel they need workforce intelligence even more than the big enterprises. Okay, they really need it, because somehow when SMEs struggle with people decision, the cost isn't just inefficiency. The simple thing is, if they are struggling at this point, they cannot simply scale beyond that, and they lose the scale, which is the biggest danger. So these challenges, one second. Yeah. So the turning point, so these challenges don't mean that they cannot scale. It means that they simply need the right intelligence platform to do it efficiently, right? They need a new platform to see how to do it efficiently or how to scale efficiently. The turning point comes when SMEs can finally see clearly, when they see where the time, effort, and energy truly goes, when they can identify burnout early, when they can retain top talent through data-driven empathy, and when leaders can optimize their costs without overburdening the teams. That is the moment when the growth becomes repeatable for SMEs, and that is the transformation TimeChamp is enabling for SMEs across different industries, right? So, so this is exactly what TimeChamp is doing for our SMEs, right? So let's see how SMEs turn this insight into growth. Our SME clients tell us something powerful. They say that once they had real insight into workloads and collaboration patterns, they stopped reacting to crisis and started shaping the culture. They rebalanced their teams, they prevented burnouts, and improved retention for the first time people have ever seen. And because when people feel seen and supported, productivity stops being forced. It becomes natural. And that is the exact intelligence loop that our time champ is following. That is the simple. We are not doing something that is rocket science. Everything at time champ revolves around one principle, that is the intelligence loop. We observe, we understand, we improve, and we simply repeat it. The more you observe, the better you understand. The better you understand, the smarter your actions become, and over time, intelligence compounds. That is exactly how you go from chasing numbers to creating momentum. Now, do you guys want to see? Do you guys want to see what's driving your team's performance? Now, if you are thinking that sounds powerful, but I want to see it, if you guys are wondering that everything that we have talked about so far, it sounds powerful, but I would like to see it, right? Then, if that is your question, then we have made it simple. We are currently offering a 7-day free trial, not a demo, but a real access to the complete platform. Okay, we want you guys to make a very conscious decision whether you want to adapt to workforce intelligence or not, and that's why we want you to be very confident about you. So first try it, then make the decision, and that's why we are offering a 7-day free trial to everyone who has joined this webinar today. You will see some real insights on focus, productivity, and engagement, and you will literally watch how work happens in your organization. There's no sales pressure, nothing. There's going to be 100% clarity. Okay, so let's see what you get in the 7-day trial. There's what you get in your 7-day trial. Number one is full access to TimeChamp's workforce intelligence platform. Second is burnout and workload balance reports. You are going to check it very easily. You can even see the you can easily see the links to yeah, I think Praveen, you are sharing it to hosts and panelists. You have shared it to everyone. Yeah, perfect. So we have shared the sign up link as well. Just go there and book your 7-day trial. No pressure. You will be able to get the full access to TimeChamp's workforce intelligence platform. You will see the burnout and workload balance reports. You'd see the engagement trends, focus patterns, and performance shifts, and ultimately dedicated onboarding support to help you get started. I understand you might be feeling like if you're just getting started for free, we might have questions, we might have confusions. We are going to give you the dedicated onboarding support to help you get started with our platform absolutely for free of cost. Because this is about, if right now the discussion isn't about selling a particular software or something. We are trying to help you see what you couldn't see before. And we don't want to give any false promises. We just want you guys to try it and make the decision, see it yourself, and make the decision a very conscious decision. If you're curious, scan the QR code on your screen or go to timechamp.io book demo. Within a week, you will have more clarity on your organization than you have ever had in years. And that's exactly what happens when data starts working for you and not against you. We have dropped here is a QR code. Feel free to, you know, book it. Feel free to scan it and book your demo. We have also put the link here, timechamp.io/book demo, and book your 7-day trial. There's no pressure. We want you guys to take a very conscious decision whether you want to move to a workforce intelligence instead of just tracking your employees. If you want to make a conscious decision, I would definitely recommend you guys to go ahead and try it. Okay, so what happens once you do this? What happens if you could not do it, guys? If you could not scan it, feel free to click on the link that we have pasted in the chat, and then you can simply go ahead and book your demo. So after this session, you can feel free to reach out. Okay, reach out to us, reach out to our team. We would love to hear about your specific challenges, because we really brainstormed for a long time and decided to have this discussion because we are seeing the rising gaps, challenges, and pain point that is happening in the market. And that's why we have built this, and that's why we want to help you solve all those problems. If you have any questions, anything you want to talk about, you can simply email us at product at 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Let me just shift it. Yeah. So if you have any questions at all, guys, feel free to let us know. You can simply email us at productsupport@timechamp.io, or you can connect with us via the numbers on your screen. Our team can walk you through what workforce intelligence could look like in your context. The simple rule, if you have been knowing TimeChamp, then the simple rule is that we don't make a product one size that fits all, but we create very customized tools and platforms for according to your need. So whether you are a 50% startup, or you are a 50,000 person enterprise business, TimeChamp is going to create a workforce intelligence platform that is super customizable as per your work culture, per your team structure and organization structure. So simple thing is that if you have any questions at all, just go ahead, feel free to reach out to us, and we have dedicated teams that is going to help you, walk you through what workforce intelligence could look like in your context, very customized, so that you can make a very conscious choice. So let me leave you with this today. Every company today has data, but very few have direction. Every leader measures output, but very few understand energy. And the organizations that thrive in this decade will be those that connect the both. At TimeChamp, our mission is very simple: to help businesses move from noise to clarity, from hours to impact, and from tracking to actual transformation. Thank you so much for being here today, and let's build this next decade of workforce intelligence together. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I really appreciate you being here, spending and dedicating so much of time, sharing your challenges. I wish everyone very good luck. And if you guys have any questions at all, then please feel free to reach out to us. And we have already left our sign up and book demo links. Click them and try have the 7-day trial. There's no harm in it. And if you have any questions, feel free to let us know. Our dedicated team is going to walk you through every single way we can help you. And if you are going to onboard workforce intelligence for you, how it is going to look like for your organization and its structure. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Have a great day. Bye-bye.